So you guys know I've been watching Real Housewives, all of the cities for a very long time, since the beginning of most of them. However, Real Housewives of Orange County was never a show that I got into. A lot of you wanted me to get into it and watch it. So for the past two seasons, we have been watching Real Housewives of Orange County and recapping it. I wasn't sure about this next season. I really was not that invested because the last couple of seasons have been just okay. Just okay. It got a little bit better last season, but I wasn't sure. So a lot of you have been anticipating this new season of the Real Housewives of Orange County because of a lot of things were happening offline amongst the cast. Tamara was back on from last season, so she's been stirring the pot as per usual. But we also know that Shannon had a DUI arrest. So we knew that was going to be a major storyline. And this season, we have a new housewife who's actually friends with Sutton. So we're going to see Sutton on this season as well, which is nice. It's a nice crossover because a lot of people, Sutton does have the Sluttons. It's a big fan base, but there's a huge fan base for Orange County in general. I know a lot of you say you're biased because you're in the premiere episode. I'm in the premiere episode for like 2.5 seconds. 2.5 seconds. Yes, Bravo uses my voice at the top in regards to Shannon's DUI arrest. Thank you, Bravo. Thank you, Evolution. Whatever. Anyways, so we're going to get into the Real Housewives of Orange County premiere episode. And as per usual, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share the video. And don't forget you can hear the audio version of our live recaps and special episodes. I might have to do a special episode about my Atlanta show last night because Atlanta, your energy last night, in so many different directions. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. It was an incredible show. So thank you to everyone that came out to the Atlanta show. So many of you have traveled far and wide to come to some of these shows. So I appreciate that. But the tea that was spilled, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. But first, we're going to get into the Real Housewives of Orange County and this premiere episode, which I thought was not just solid. I thought that it was interesting. I thought it was impactful. I thought it was juicy in a lot of ways. And I'm looking forward to the rest of the season because I feel like Shannon really brought it. Alexis, who's a friend of the season, really brought it. Let's get into it.
Baby, baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor. I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer. Just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. Ooh, you bring the lighter. I got the fuse. You make a fire. I'll add the fuel. Follow my lady. Just watch the shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like the video, be sure to subscribe. And if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get, what did I say, Spotify. I want to pronunciate my words. For the rest of 2024, I'm going to correct myself when I stumble over words. Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, okay? While you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating. 5-star rating. Let me turn on my banner and things like that. Let me also double check because, as you know, when I'm not in my studio, it's a little harder to manage everything. And as you know, I recorded that Dubai recap and I was missing, the audio was terrible. But look, I'm not in my studio. I'm in Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta for a few days. So be sure to let me know what I should do in Atlanta. If you live in Atlanta or been to Atlanta or homegrown in Atlanta, let me know some things. It's hot though. People are telling me, go to the byline. I'm like, it's hot. I think it's supposed to be like 97 degrees here in the States. Well, here in Atlanta. That's hot to be out on somebody's byline. Anyways, maybe later in the day when it starts to cool off a little bit. All right. I'm gonna have to do some inside stuff. Where can I go shopping? Look, where can I go shopping? Not that I need to buy anything right now. All right. Real Housewives of Orange County. I did not take official notes. I like to take notes. I was going to watch it for a third time, but I said no. I'm just going to go off the dome. It was the premiere episode, as I mentioned to you guys before. I am in the premiere episode. They opened this episode with talking about Shannon's DUI. Shannon, of course, throughout the episode is talked about, amongst the group. We see Shannon meet with her attorney in regards to it. Here's the thing. I like Shannon. There's something about Shannon. I always say she has this grandmother energy, and it's not what you guys think. I'm not being an ageist. I'm not saying because she's an older woman. I'm saying it because there's this warm, I feel like she would be very sweet. I don't know her. She could be terrible in real life. I mean, I've heard things, Shannon, I'm sorry. I've heard things, but I've never had a personal interaction. I never judge people off of other people's personal interactions until I meet them. Okay. So when I met Drew was so lovely when I met her, and she got it. She knows that I say what I say about her on my platform. And she was really cool about it. There's been a couple of, celebrities that I've met that have done that and are really cool with that. But Shannon, I don't know. There's something about Shannon. I think a lot of you agree too. When I talk about Shannon, there's something about her that is likable, that is warm. I don't like that she risked Archie, her dog, justice for Archie. Look, I don't love the fact that she risked his life in first of all, she risked her own life, she risked Archie's life, and she risked whoever's life that was on the street that night, or the people in their own home. So I don't want to make light of what Shannon did, but you can see in this episode she's trying to take accountability. Do I think it's 100% genuine, or she's doing what she knows her publicist and what Bravo's publicity is saying? This is what you need to say. This is what you need to do. Because when she meets with her attorney, the attorney is just like, well, if you complete this, this, and this, then we can have this wiped from your record. And she's sort of like, I want to take ownership. Do I believe Shannon 100%? Not 100%, but I do believe the majority. I don't think she really wanted to hurt anyone. But does she believe that she has a problem? Look, I'm not an expert in alcoholism, but a lot of people have said that her drinking has been a problem, and now it's resulted in this. And I will say this, and I've always said this, life will send little pebbles. Oprah used to say this, will send you little pebbles of pay attention. And then it's a shove. And then it's a Jennifer Aiden shove. And then it's a brick upside your head. And I think the DUI arrest, the crash, was that brick upside Shannon Beador's head. And I hope that she really is not just being performative in regards to this whole DUI situation and what she's sharing on the show. But like I've said with Kiki Jabbar from Love and Marriage Huntsville, I can appreciate her sharing her feelings and what she's doing on this show, because it's not easy, especially when the public has their opinions. It's not easy. All right. I'll get back to Shannon, because Shannon, that conversation at the end with her and Alexis, this is the premiere episode. It was a supersized episode, but this was the premiere episode, and this is what we're getting at the very beginning. I wonder why they didn't make Alexis full-time. Why did Alexis leave the show? I know she was married at one point, and apparently her ex-husband sued Shannon and Tamara, because they talk about that too. I haven't dug up. You guys can give me the Cliff Notes on what happened there. But Alexis apparently has a friendship with Heather Dubrow and Emily, more so Heather Dubrow. But she does. We have that separate scene with Heather Dubrow, Emily, and Alexis. This is Alexis' introduction. And, Heather's I've remained in contact with Alexis, Jesus Jugs. That's what Tamara called her at a reunion. I've had that I've stayed connected with her. But at this lunch, Alexis brings up something that Emily said on Two Nats in a Podcast. Oh no, I'm sorry, Tamara. I put you in the Nats category. I'm gonna stick with the Two Nats in a Podcast. Um, anyways, let me take a sip. I'm making myself laugh. That show last night in Atlanta, I don't know if they recorded it. My manager definitely took some footage. Um, but that show in Atlanta last night, I'm gonna do a members only live at some point. So if you're not a member, become a member today. TeamKempire.com/join. Okay, and if you're watching this, there's a join button somewhere under the video. All right, I'm all over the place. So they have this lunch, Heather and Emily and Alexis. I'm going to be all over the place. So if you're trying to follow along with the episode, there's no need. I'm not going to do that for the premiere. Maybe next week's episode, I'll do that. So Alexis calls out Emily for something that she said on that podcast. And basically, Emily is saying what we've all been saying in regards to John Jansen. He's thirsty. He's not a very nice person. Remember, Shannon has told the ladies, maybe while she's been drinking, some of the things that John Jansen has said and done to her. And some of the things that he said and done is like thirsty. He's a dog. And I find it very interesting. Yes, they met at Quiet Woman, the Quiet Woman, infamous, iconic restaurant. The Quiet Woman has entered the chat on social media saying, oh, we've known Alexis, because Alexis brings it up on how she met John Jansen. She's like, I've been going there forever. Shannon Bedore doesn't own the Quiet Woman, but a lot of people say that Shannon made it what it is. You know, people largely go to the Quiet Woman now because of Shannon Bedore. I don't know. I've never been. I don't even like the name The Quiet Woman because what am I getting when I book a seat at The Quiet Woman? Now I know because of Shannon Bedore, but I'm just sort of like, they've entered the chat, but they've also showed love to Shannon Bedore as well. But The Quiet Woman, let's lean into the quiet in your name. All right. And just enjoy the free promo that you're getting from this. Just saying. Some people are just so thirsty. They're so thirsty. But look, this show has put them on the map. I'm sure it's really done very well for them. For those that have actually gone to The Quiet Woman, is it good food? Is it good drinks? Like, I know nothing about it. All right. Let's move on. So, yeah. So, we're not going to move on. So she confronts Emily in regards to the things that she said about John. And Emily's like, remember, Emily's an attorney. Is Emily an Aries too? No, I don't know if she's an Aries. I don't remember where her sign is. I'm not very familiar with everyone's sign on this cast. You guys let me know in the chat or in the comment section what's everyone's sign. But she's an Aries. There are a lot of attorneys that are Aries or wanted to be attorneys, right, Aries? Okay. So Emily, she stands 10 toes down. She's like, the things that Shannon has said to me about this man, I don't like, and I don't like him. And look, Alexis, he might be good for you, and maybe he will show a different side of himself, but they've rewound clips with the things that he was saying to Shannon about some of the other ladies on the show, specifically Gina, and how nasty he was. Can you imagine what he says off camera about people, or what he said to Shannon? Because Shannon has accused him of being malicious towards her. So she's like, yeah, I didn't like that. So Alexis came up with her excuse. He was defending his girlfriend at the time. Okay. All right, Jesus Jugs. Fine. If that's what you want to believe. Okay. As I mentioned to you before, Alexis is returning as a friend of, but we have a new housewife, Katie, who's friends with Sutton. We didn't get a lot of Katie, but what I've gotten from Katie so far, I'm like, okay, I'm liking her vibe. She looks great. She very much, Gina is the one who sort of brings her on, and Gina's really happy. Like, someone my age, Gina, we're not happy that you're back, though. Here's the thing. Gina needs this job. And I know a lot of you watch this show because you don't want to be reminded of your struggle. So watching Gina is watching your struggle. But some of you are like, I do better than she does. So why am I watching her on this show? Well, I think on some level, They want genuine connections. She's actually friends with a lot of the women. We've followed her story. There's been a lot of drama in her life, and her drama this season is that she's still struggling. It's look, a lot of people are struggling. So please understand, I'm okay with Gina. I think for me, it's not about Gina struggling. I find Gina sometimes hard to watch. It's not about her being poor or, you know, I don't sometimes get the point, but I have enjoyed Gina and Emily's real fun, like Lucy and oh my gosh, I can't even think today. Look, I'm running on not many hours sleep. Lucy and what was her best friend's name? I can't remember it. You know who I'm talking about. Or I like that banter between the two of them because I feel like that's a real friendship, and we don't see a lot of real friendships on this show. And I know a lot of the housewives said you can't have a real friendship on the show, but somehow I feel like Emily and Gina have been able to navigate a real friendship and loyalty amongst each other. But this is Gina's story this season. Travis, who is a saint, and no, he's not. I don't know, but based on what we've seen of Travis, he seems like a saint to me. So she tells Emily that they're struggling. Like Travis has his ex situation, which is causing challenges in their relationship, and she's in a good place with her ex. However, they want to move to a bigger place because all people love to make fun of that they're all living all these kids under one roof. So Gina's solution is that they separate right now because they can't find a place in the OC that would be big enough that they can afford. And look, that's real. I've never heard of anyone doing something like this. But then again, I don't really know a lot of people that have blended families like this. So how do you guys feel about it? Like, I want to hear from people that actually have a blended family that are married. But okay, yes, Gina's not married, but are in relationships like this. And because I'm open to understanding, like, I don't want to just slam Gina, like, what are you doing? Like, this doesn't make sense. Maybe it doesn't make sense to a lot of folks. To me, I'm like, so the only solution is to separate. Maybe move out of the OC, but then if she moves out of the OC, can she still be on the show? Well, Heather did. Heather's not in the OC. Heather's building a house in Beverly Hills. Didn't she say that? Vindication out is ours because we did not get to see. Look, I wasn't watching the show at the time, but we did not get to see Heather build that last beautiful home that she sold for $1 trillion. So I feel like this season and next season we're going to get to see Heather do what Heather Dubrow does, Dubrow it out. We're going to see her actually do it on this show, honestly. And I'm not one to give Housewives spinoffs. You can see how hard I don't want to say this. I don't want to give her a spinoff. I really would like to see Heather get a spinoff of just, and I don't care about Heather and her relationship. I just want to see Heather heathering out on just like, she's going to spend a whole lot of money. She's going to do the hell out of this home. She's probably in a different space. So this new home is not going to look like anything like the last home. I want to see all that. But we have to remember, on a show, a cast like this, they're not going to be able to show every nook and cranny of building this home. And I'm invested. And I know a lot of you say, Kempire, you should just watch her YouTube channel where she highlighted the building of the last home. I'm sure she'll do it for this, but Heather's back at Bravo. We need a spinoff. We need, look. We need a spinoff. Please and thank you. I've been saying this too, and I definitely, in the next couple of months, I'm going to get back into my HGTV watching because I miss watching that. I don't know. I've just been caught up touring, creating content, living my life. But I want to get back to watching HGTV. All right. Anyone else? Like, look, I'm ready. I'm ready to get back into it. But I really do. So Heather, apparently, unless I misheard what she said, but I don't think that I did. Her new home is in Beverly Hills. So a lot of people thought that she was going to move over to Beverly Hills. But we have to keep, let's talk the business of this. Heather Dubrow is probably making a certain amount of money over at Orange County. The women on Beverly Hills are making a certain amount of money, and they have quite a few people that have been there since the beginning. Well, not quite a few, they have one. But then they have quite a few people that have been there a long time. Dorit, Erica Jane. Now Sutton and Garcelle have been there a few seasons under their belt. So a newbie coming in is cheaper than a Heather Dubrow coming in, and the budget for Beverly Hills may be great. However, still might not be enough for Heather. However, OC in their budget might have enough, because the only person that's been there consistently for a long time has been Shannon. And then, of course, Emily and Gina have been there, but I don't know how much they're making. But there's a bunch of other new folks. I'm looking at the cast photo as we speak. So remember Tamara, and when you have a break like that, that's actually strategic, I'm sure, business wise from Bravo. When you have a break, Tamara's not coming in at the same amount that she probably would have come in if she had stayed and she didn't have that break. I'm not saying she's not making a good amount of money, but there's probably more room in the budget for Real Housewives of Orange County to have a Heather Dubrow. Honestly, I'd much rather Heather stay here. It's nothing against Heather. I think Heather's good in Orange County. Beverly Hills is good right now. We shall see. Maybe there will be a time where Heather will need to move over there to save the city, especially if Kyle Richards doesn't return. Kyle is returning, but I'm just saying in the future, in the futures. But I want to see her build this home. All right. So Gina has a conversation with Travis, and I felt for Travis because his body language, because we're body language experts. His body language, she got emotional talking about the separation. She already told Emily about it earlier in the episode. So she has a sit-down conversation with Travis about it, and he seems hurt. And she's concerned that this will affect their relationship. Do you think that it will affect their relationship? I think if they have a solid foundation, they'll be fine, because this is just a financial decision. Again, I'm sure it's very expensive in the OC. I don't know if they could move to the outskirts of the OC where they could afford, but California is very expensive. Well, so she has a conversation with Travis in regards to, this separation. And she says, like, are you okay with it? And his body language said no. His mouth was saying, like, he didn't really say, I'm fine with it. His body language, his eyes would droop like this. Low. Like his eyes, I didn't realize this with Travis. His eyes just, I don't know if I've ever seen his eyes. He didn't seem happy about it, and I felt for Travis, because I'm sure as a man he feels like I should be able to supply this for our family, and I can't. So I'm sure there's a level of that, and then the level of sharing this on national television. I can see it being emasculating for a man, but it's fine. Like, I'm not judging, but I want to get all sides of why he was probably reacting, and the body language was what it was. I hope that they're fine. I would love to see a wedding for these two, but look, if we're not getting that wedding this year, we're not getting that wedding this year. They can't afford a place together, y'all. If I was in the studio, you know what I'd be playing? Wah, wah, wah. I miss my own sound effects. Well, speaking of rental issues, apparently Jen, who we loved, she was an MVP last season, and she's going to be an MVP this season because they had to pick cameras back up after they wrapped filming. They had to pick cameras back up because of the drama with her and her guy, Ryan, her fiance. So apparently she's having her own financial issues because she only makes $50. I remembered a lot for a supersized episode and no notes. Yeah, let me pat myself on the back. So she makes like $50 for her yoga classes, first of all. And someone said this, I think I was watching it for the Bravo premiere, and someone said it in the chat. $50 per class. It's affordable. I like it. But, and I guess it's not that bad, but I'm just thinking in the OC, I'm sure she's got a bunch of housewives that are in, like, you could charge probably a little bit more, but maybe she doesn't want to charge a little bit more. But I get it. It's not helping her pay the rent. And so she's having rental issues and she's being evicted. But then what happened to Ryan and that $60 million that was deposited in his account, asking for the feds? No, I like Jen. I do like Jen. We're going to wait and see. And see how that plays out. Okay. All right. What else did I want to talk about in this episode? So we get to see Heather Dubrow. She's building this beautiful new home. Tamara. Let's talk about Tamara. I'm coming into this new season with an open mind about Tamara. What I haven't liked has been the snarky remarks that Tamara has made in regards to Shannon Bedore's DUI and the joke that she made. I will say I didn't mind Emily's joke about Archie in the car. He's like 10 and 2 or 10 and 2, Shannon. Look, I don't want to make light of that situation, but I can appreciate making a dark situation a little humorous in a confessional. And this is why I love Emily. She really is my spirit animal. And that moment when Emily is watching with the ladies at Heather's event, they're watching Alexis and Shannon argue, and her face is pressed up against the glass. I was like, this is what I love about Emily. I really do. Like, I don't love everything about Emily. That's the thing. But like these comedic moments, she provides that funny for me. But anyways, um, so Tamara, we get to see her daughter. The reason why we haven't seen her kids, partially one of her kids is not talking to her because she's like, "Don't mention me on the show," and she apparently made mention on the show, so she doesn't have a relationship with Sydney, right? Is it Sydney? Both, I can't remember. If I mix up the names, I apologize. So her daughter, who's just turned 18, couldn't be on the show because her father would not sign off on her being on the show. Well, now she's 18, so she can make the decision for herself. And I have to say, I thought last season when Tamara came back that we were going to get Tamara's story, Tamara's life, Tamara's family. But all we got was, Cut Fitness is closing, and then she turned on her friend Jen. But I'm hoping this season we can focus a little bit more on Tamara's personal story because I feel like that makes her more likable. Because in the premiere episode of last season, I was like, Tamara understands the assignment when it comes to be a reality TV star. But then it just went downhill like episode 2. So I like seeing this episode with her hanging out with her daughter, talking about the situation with her kids, the situation of her being estranged from her other kid. They're heading to get tattoos. I have to say, her daughter that was with her getting the tattoo. I liked her edginess. I liked her just sort of like blahness at the same time. Very just like even keeled, unlike Tamara. But Tamara, we have something to connect. We have a connection. I love the number 11. I love the number 1, and like 1111 always follows me. And a lot, mind you, I just missed it here. But 111, she got tattooed. There's just something about ones that I love, and they follow me. Of course, I'm born on May 11th, so I for me that was like a sign as I'm watching the episode. I was like, okay, yes, Tamara, we've got a connection. We've got a connection. We also have a connection between you and Katie in Katie's reunion dress that you're wearing in the promo for the season. Who wore it better? Well, I'll say Tamara wore it better because I didn't love the fact that Katie had like a necklace under it. When you have a neck thing, like mind you, me, the fashion stylist, when you have the neck thing like this, it's like wrapped around your neck. There's no need for anything to be under there's no necklace that needs to be there. So I didn't like that, but I liked Katie's hair better than Tamara in this moment. Also, I'll say, Tamara, nice shape, she works out, but I will say because Katie's a little bit more curvy, she kind of fills it out a little bit better. But they both look great. Don't get me wrong, they both look great. But if people are always gonna be like, who wore it better? Who wore it better? All right. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I need to talk about before we get to this last scene. I mean, there was a lot that played out in the episode. I'm not going to get to everything because, like I said, I didn't take all my notes. And I appreciate, again, Emily, there's so many little funny moments throughout the episode with Emily that we get. So that was enjoyable for me. Like just these light, funny moments. She's at the Heather event. She's always dragging Heather in regards to whatever Heather is doing. And she drinks this drink and she's like, oh, what is in this? Cute. Cute, but not so cute because it's your event. It's like, but we know how Emily can be. All right. I'm trying to think of anything else before we get to this last scene, because Shannon Bedore is looking great. Shannon Bedore is looking great. We already talked about the scene that she had with her attorney. She's doing well. She's volunteering. She's in this program because of her recent arrest. So she shows up to this event looking great. Alexis shows up to this event. I don't say she looks great. I didn't really love the outfit or the hair, but she looks good. All right. So the ladies, they collect themselves because Shannon and Alexis go outside to have a conversation. And they're dragging this table so they can have this conversation. And Shannon, I'll say this. Although I like you, we know that your issues with Alexis has nothing to do. Well, maybe it might. It's a small part. I'm not going to say it has nothing to do with your issues with Alexis, but we know the biggest issue is the fact that she's dating your ex-boyfriend, John Jansen. But Shannon, in this moment, she makes it about the lawsuit, and she says that the cease and desist came from Alexis. She's like, your name was signed on it. And Alexis says, I was separated or divorced 6 months from my then husband. So I wasn't involved. But Shannon says, I spent like $300,000. It put me in a financial situation when that happened because of, she had to get lawyers and things like that. So she made it like, I didn't expect that. So she makes it about that cease and desist that both her and Tamara received from Alexis's ex-husband. And Alexis says, it has nothing to do with that. It has more to do with the fact that I'm dating your ex. And honestly, I agree with Alexis. But I'm just so enamored by the ladies are inside and Emily's face is pressed up against the window. Everyone is reacting. Like for me, what was happening outside with Shannon and Alexis was very interesting and very engaging. But the comedy relief on the inside, Tamara's introducing herself to Katie. She's like, oh, nice to meet you. And Katie's commenting, she's like, this is the NFL of tea. Everyone is just looking like, what is happening right now? Like, look, this one is saying this one. Alexis is just nodding her head. Shannon is not letting her get a word in. It was a very, very interesting conversation. Who do you think won in that conversation? Honestly, Shannon held it together because I wasn't sure. That's what makes Shannon a great housewife. There's so many housewives across the cities that aren't great at confrontation. And I have to say, Shannon held her own. She gave us, whatever story she wanted to give. And then she breaks the fourth wall. And when Alexis walks away, because they go back and forth in regards to like, you're really upset at the fact that I'm dating your ex. And I forgot what the exact words were said, but basically Shannon's just like, I'm glad that you're dating him, or I'm glad that he's no longer in my life. I can't remember what she said. Bravo had it on there. Let me just look it up because I'd much rather say it the way that it was done. Bravo had it on their Instagram. So I want to highlight. Oh, damn it. Is it not on their Instagram? Was it on someone else's Instagram? Oh, well, no, they do have it here somewhere. Hold on. Yes, here it is. Say, look, I'm keeping my fourth wall in. So Bravo highlighted, Shannon first says, I thank you for taking him from me, Alexis. And she said, I'm thankful that he left you. And then Shannon turns to the camera, breaking the fourth wall, and says, perfect. I thought that was really, really cute. Oh, let me go through the slides because some of these slides were really good. The first slide that they have here on Bravo TV on Instagram, Heather says, is it wrong to watch because they're watching the fight outside? Tamara responds, do you have a listening device? Emily says, I read lips. I speak Spanish, English, and lips. See why I love Emily? Like, I don't remember that scene. Let me see something.
There's a lot of stations a lot.
Reacting.
A lot of stations. We have our lovely tarot card reader. There's permanent jewelry over there. Over there is the wishing wall. And instructions and things that you must do.
Is Heather Virgo?
Lady gets 3 wishes, and it'll be revealed later. Oh, they're revealed? They're anonymous, though. Oh, so you can say whatever you want. Gotta be prepared to go to work at a Dubrow party. Dubrow knows.
I appreciate how much effort Heather puts. That's why I think even if she's not, her sun sign is not Virgo. In her chart, she probably has a lot of Virgo because that's a lot of detail. I love the tarot card part of it. I was like, okay, what's happening? Okay, and then we have that moment that I mentioned in regards to Emily. Emily takes a sip of the I guess, martini, and she says, "What is that?" Heather says, "These toppers, they kind of dissolve." So it's the 2024 topper. So I was wondering, I was like, wait, it was creamy. And then she says it kind of dissolves. So Emily says, "I spit it back in. Should I still drink it? It's fine. I drink after my dog." I don't even remember that part. And she does.
Marty! Oh my gosh! Have we had our downside? Yes. You! Have we on each other? Yes.
Her and Tamara.
But I'm so thankful for our friendship now. And she pegged them Jesus jugs. Thank you very much. They are beautiful, aren't they? Karen Barney!
Okay. All right.
So funny because Sophia is so chill. You need to teach me how to do that winged eyeliner. You just take the pen and then you do it. And she's just a very kind soul. Clearly, I'm not like that. It's none of your business.
Not them dropping his receipts.
She's such a good kid. I don't know where the hell it came from. So
We don't either. And then, of course, this moment. Look, this moment. Oh, damn, Emily. You are my spirit animal. You are my spirit animal. Look, I'm going to post it on my Instagram story because how much I love her. For me, she was like the highlight of the episode, but I do appreciate everything that everyone brought. It's a big cast. It's 7 women? Yeah, it's 7 women. And Alexis is a friend of, so 8. Alexis came in hot. For those that have been fans of Real Housewives of Orange County for a long time, please let me know your thoughts. Your thoughts are not going to change what I watch and how I feel about Alexis, but I haven't seen a lot of Alexis. I don't really have a lot to go by when it comes to her. So I'm going to come in and look, so far, I'm okay with her. Besides the fact that I'm worried for her because she's dating John Jansen, and I don't think he's a great guy. But we shall see. I mean, they're engaged. Aren't they engaged? And apparently they're having a lot of sex. I don't care. That's one thing we do not care about. Alexis. Do I believe that they're having a lot of sex? Yes. Alexis and Shannon are very different women. So maybe this is the one for him. But does that change who he is? No, it doesn't. So again, Alexis, we wish you the best. We also wish Shannon the best. And I hope, Shannon, you really get the help that you need, because I do feel a level of denial in regards to if you might have a problem. But again, I'm not an expert, but I do feel like there's a level of denial. Bravo. If you haven't already, let's get the deal done with Heather and this building of her home. Heather, if they haven't gotten a deal, you know what to do. You're a smart cookie. Film the sizzle reel on what this would look like, and let's get it to Peacock. And then if it happens, Heather, I think we should do an interview. And I think you should fly me on your private jet. I'm joking. But no, I want to come and see it. And then we can do it live, and we can make it a part of the audience, because this was all my idea. I don't want producer credit. I mean, unless you want to give me producer credit. I'm no fool. Shoot, producer credit is better than being on it. Just saying. Shout out to everyone that was here last night in Atlanta for our City Winery show. Shout out to City Winery. Shout out to my team. Shout out to all of you. You poured into me in a way that I need to sit and really revel in it. We talked a little bit about that last night. So many good things happen in our lives and we don't revel or celebrate it. So whatever your good news is today, whatever is something that you should be celebrating, or maybe you didn't think that you should be celebrating, maybe you got some good test results from your blood work, maybe you just had a birthday, maybe you, whatever it may be, celebrate it. So I'm going to celebrate and revel in a successful, fun, emotional, tour. And just your incredible stories from Nashville to Atlanta to New York to Philly to the DMV, just so many incredible conversations. And I know you all are like, when you're coming to my city, look, it's a busy summer. It's hard booking venues during the summer. It's even harder when you're doing what I do, and building a name too. So for people to like, okay, let's do it. So stay tuned. We're trying. We're definitely trying. So for me, the best part of doing the Kempire After Dark live tour has been meeting the community and hearing your stories on what I do here. And for those that are new here, I don't just talk about housewives. I don't just talk about reality television. We talk about everything in pop culture. All right. So I'm definitely going to be getting into more. I've been out of the loop. So doing recaps like this have been a little bit easier because it's recorded and I can just put it out there. We have covered a couple of pop culture stories. And the live shows, that's what we've been doing too. It's been a mix of pop culture stories and, of course, reality television. So we are going to continue to do more of that. And we're going to close out 2024 in a big way. So stay tuned. And if you haven't already, be sure to like this video. Be sure, if you're listening to the audio version of this on the Kempire podcast, and if you're not following the Kempire podcast, you should. Be sure to subscribe to Kempire on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Give us a 5-star rating. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I am going to do a special members only live to talk about our Nashville show and our Atlanta show. So become a member today at teamkempire.com/join. There's a lot of tea spilled at our Atlanta show. All right, y'all. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Again, don't forget to like the video. Thank you to our channel members. Thank you to our subscribers. And of course, thank you to our King's Guards for holding us down in the live chat. And yes, the theme song is back. That was a big thing that people made a big deal about last night. It's back.
Ooh, you bring the lighter, I got the fuse. You make a fire, I'll ask you. Follow my lead, just watch the shoes. Gotta turn the heat up. This cool.